Hello. Wait, let me just drink some water before we get started. Thirst is quenched. Hey guys, so welcome back to episode 2 of my podcast. Today is going to be a very interesting topic. I've never really talked about this even in my previous episodes. I didn't really dabble on this topic. Okay, I just need to get comfy in terms of, let me just sit on this pillow because why not? So if you guys are wondering why the sound quality, even though I'm using a microphone, is still not that good, it's not professional yet, I just haven't figured out how to sync me recording my voice with the video, because I'm recording my voice as well, but then whenever I try to kind of put it all together, it doesn't work. Give me some grace for a few episodes and we're gonna figure this audio thing out. So today we're gonna be talking about how to adopt a growth mindset. This topic is actually really fun to talk about. I've always been interested in it and I've actually never heard the term growth mindset up until last year, I think. Last year was really when I started to dabble and really try to learn all about self-development, mental health, just really kind of educate myself on the realm of psychology. And with that, I learned there's such thing as a growth mindset. Now you're going to be asking, Patty, what is this growth mindset? This mindset stems from the implicit theory of intelligence. There are two sides of intelligence. One side is very fixed-minded, it's very closed off to the idea of growing. They believe that, oh, intelligence is something that you're born with and it's something that you can't really change. So if I have a level of intelligence, it can't be increased or it can't be decreased. It's just, you know, it's stable, it's stuck. However, the flip side is that intelligence is ever changing, it's malleable, you can form it. It's basically just very dynamic and you can develop it over time through experiences and effort. So the things you do, and if you are making a conscious effort into increasing that level of intelligence, it will change. So there's two sides. There's one side that's very fixed and there's one side that's very dynamic. Yin and yang, baby. So in terms of that, you can say that the more dynamic one is called the growth mindset and the one that's more fixed is called the fixed mindset. So having a growth mindset is having a positive attitude in terms of growing, just always increasing personal development in terms of allowing these challenges, allowing failures, basically with open arms. You're allowing failure to come into your life, open arms, and you're like, hey, you're something that you can come and I'm gonna learn from you. One thing I learned actually is that having a growth mindset really does help with increasing the level of resilience you get, because once you're always experiencing these setbacks, you're always experiencing challenges, you're gonna rise from the ashes. You're gonna know how to get through it because you went through it the first time, you went through it the second time. So then you're just becoming more resilient and then you're just more prone and used to the idea of failure that you're not really scared of it anymore. And someone with a fixed mindset is always gonna be leaning into their strengths, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because you know, in life, when you know you're good at something, you're gonna like stay in that area. You're gonna be like, okay, I know I'm good at this and I strive in this area, so I'm gonna do it, which I think is also a really good thing in terms of knowing what you want to do or talents that you have. Personally, I believe that everyone is born with a certain and unique set of skill sets that they have learned through childhood, or it's like kind of like talent in a way, like, you know, natural talent or something like that. Like, I feel like everyone does have that, but in different areas. And it's important that you kind of just learn to get to know yourself and what you are good at, so then you can basically just thrive in that area as well, but also developing other areas which you want to grow. So I'm gonna help you guys identify who has a growth mindset and who has a fixed mindset. You know those people that you meet and you can just tell that they're so willing to learn about everything and everyone. They're asking questions, they're just like, they're so open-minded to new ideas, and you're just like, wow, that like they're very charismatic as well. They give like charismatic energy because they're always just wanting to get to know people and ideas and topics, broadening their mind. And also, people with fixed mindsets, they're not intimidated by other people's success. they actually do want to be surrounded with people that are better than them or more successful than them, because they have the mindset that, oh, I can learn from them. They want to feel inspired to grow, and with that, that's why they spend time with just a different variety of people, so then they can actually just grow themselves as well. However, someone that's more fixed mindset, they kind of stray away from risk. There's someone that's very intimidated by someone's success. If they see that someone's more successful than them, it's kind of like a threat to their own level of success and self-value in a way. So it stems from jealousy and ego, but I also don't think it's that bad in a way. I feel like jealousy and ego can actually turn into motivation if it's used right and if it's in a proper amount. I think there are good sides and bad sides to this theory of intelligence in terms of these two sides, because I feel like most people aren't 100% fixed mindset and 100% growth mindset. And there was actually a study found from a teacher, and most of her students kind of fell into the spectrum of like the middle, because you know there's always a spectrum for everything. You can never be completely on one side or completely on the other side. There's always like a skew or those graphs. Sorry, I'm not that good in maths, so I forgot everything about the positive skew, negative skew. However, I just know that most people will fall in the middle, like in medium. I'm trying to use like mathematical terms, but I don't remember anything about that. But it's currently just, yeah, you fall in a spectrum, and most people, I would say, would fall in the middle. However, studies have shown that if you have a fixed mindset, it's more predicted that you're gonna self-report more stress and more anxiety. And I just think this is probably just due to the fact that you're always just staying in one place, and you just think that the world is what it seems. Basically no new information that you can basically get about your environment. It's like, you know what you know, and that's it. I don't really want to talk about anxiety and stress that much, because I know anxiety is a very sensitive topic, and I understand that a lot of people do suffer from it, so I don't want to put any words into other people's mouths. I'm really trying to tread lightly here on this topic. Okay, so next topic I want to talk about is Martin Seligman's theory of learned helplessness. So learned helplessness is basically when a person has conditioned themselves and their minds to believe that whenever something bad has happened to them, that person basically has no power in what the outcome is or what they can do. So then they're basically just like, oh, I give up. Do you know the experiment like Pavlov's dog or something? I don't remember if I'm remembering this right, but it was like the bell. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain it from my memory as much as I can. So basically there was this experiment conducted where they put a dog in a room, and then every time that they ring a bell, they're gonna bring food for the dog right after. So then, and I think they repeated this multiple times so that it conditioned the dog to realize like whenever they ring the bell that food is coming. I think it conditioned the dog to salivate when they heard the bell before even seeing the foods. I don't remember, and I don't really want you guys to take my word for this in terms of the experiment. However, my point is just, when you condition yourself, or when you have a limiting belief in terms of I can't do this or I give up, your body and your mind is basically going to be like, yeah, she can't do this. You're going to start to believe it. You're never going to have the willingness and openness to learn from these experiences. Whereas someone that has a growth mindset maybe will see this unpleasant event or situation and be like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? What do I need to do? And what can I learn from this? So someone that has a fixed mindset will most likely have also conditioned themselves for the learned helplessness as well, whereas the growth mindset would be like, no, I'm gonna rise from the ashes, I'm gonna learn from this situation, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be more resilient. So the next micro topic that I do want to dabble in a little bit is neuroplasticity or brain plasticity. When we learn like new activities, skills, languages, for example, the structural and biochemical processes will change at the level of the synapses. I don't know how, I'm not a med student, but I just know that the processes do change when you do learn a new skill or hobby. And when you repeat that over time, your brain is going to be like, oh wait, I know how to deal with this. Oh, like we've done this before, easy, now we can learn something new. Like it's always just kind of developing, it's always growing. Your brain can always grow. not in terms of size, but you know, mega mind. That can also be reinforced with something that you did wrong, or you know, like any new lessons you learned. Your brain's gonna remember that and be like, okay, you learned that last time, like don't do this again, or maybe do it again and maybe see the different outcomes. Your brain is so much smarter and so complex, more than you realize, that it has the ability to learn so much. So give that food, give that new ability, give that new language, give that new activity for your brain to eat and retain. So it can be like nom nom nom, I want more, I want more. And then yeah, you've got your growth mindset. So now I want to tell you guys on how you can actually develop a growth mindset. So first thing is that if you're setting a goal for yourself, or if there's something that you want to do or you're about to do, make sure that you have the right intentions going into it. Not everything is about effort and about hard work. Of course it is, in terms of it's so important to be consistent. It's all about hard work at the end of the day. There's a saying that's like, talent without hard work is basically nothing. You need to also be aware of the intentions that you're bringing into this action, because if you have a positive intention, it's going to make your journey a lot easier. The ability and capability of you to learning new things is actually going to be way easier than you realize. If your mindset going into it is kind of like negative and it's more closed off, and you're just like, oh, like why am I learning this, like I don't want to learn this, oh gosh, I made a mistake again, like all these things really do add up. And when you have a negative mindset going into something, you're less likely actually going to carry on and continue learning it, because you're gonna be like, I don't want to do this, and then you're just not gonna do it. Like you might do it for maybe a few months, and then you're just gonna be like, oh wait, I didn't want to do this in the first place, or oh, like I never really was open to learn about this in the first place. You can be like, okay, my intention of doing this is because I want to gain new experiences and just have fun, and then it's gonna be more enjoyable as well. Okay, so the next step is to change your belief on failure. Don't allow yourself to condition failure as a negative thing. Allow it to be like a learning process or a learning opportunity. For example, if you failed an exam and you see that you failed, you got like a C or whatever grade you think is a fail for you, and then you're just like, okay, you see the paper and you're like, okay, I got a C, maybe this time I can work harder. Or you go back at you look at the answers and be like, okay, what did I do wrong, so then next time I won't do it. If you just develop this mentality, you allow yourself to actually get better at this particular thing every single time, because you're like, okay, you know what, I failed, or okay, I made a mistake, I learned from it, and then now I'm gonna do better. Next advice is understand your limitations. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an example for this one. Imagine you're like 5'2", 5 foot, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try out for the NBL, like basketball. Obviously, there's gonna be some limitations there in terms of you're probably not tall enough, or there are other people that just have a better advantage of you in that particular area. Just understanding where your limitations are in terms of your skill sets or what you naturally have, it's much easier to also set goals for yourself. Like set realistic goals. Obviously dream big. If you have goals, do it. But however, make sure it's also within the capacity that you can also do. I love F1, but I also know I can't drive an F1 car. I will crash. The amount of like physical exertion that needs to be used to drive an F1 car, and the amount of risk that you need to take, and I'm not good at driving, so that's just like, you know, I know my limitations. Also, you shouldn't really focus on the main goal that you want to achieve like 50 years from now, 10 years from now. Maybe start with a goal that you can reach a month from now. So then it's kind of like a checkpoint. You know, like those video games where you play and then there's like checkpoints? It just makes you want to play even more. Imagine if those games didn't have checkpoints and then you die. You need to go back to the first place, like 0. You start from 0 again. And it's just like, you just lose the motivation. It's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. But if you set checkpoints for yourself and just mini goals, micro goals along the way, it actually gives you more motivation. If you're just focusing on the long-term goals, it's more likely that you're going to give up, because you're going to see it as such a far-fetched thing, like just so out of reach. I can't do this, it's just so far. because you know that there's a lot of things to be done before that. However, if you just kind of split it up like into little checkpoints. When I was saying this, it actually reminded me of when I used to play Minecraft parkour, and they would have check marks, and I would be so frustrated every time I died. But then I'm like, oh wait, I'm on my last checkpoint. Okay, like that's fine. Next tip is to actually be more open to learn from others. So if you see someone that you admire, or you think that they're more successful than you, or just have more level of intelligence in the area that you also want to learn from, go ask them questions. I think asking questions is actually a really beautiful thing. Like just asking, oh, what do you like about this? Oh, what do you learn? It'll also allow you to gain new perspective on everything, and you'll be like, oh, so this is how this person did it. Oh, maybe I can adopt some of this as well. Whenever I'm in Ubers, it's quite silent, right? Sometimes it's like awkward. I'll just kind of be like, hi, like, where are you from? Or maybe they'll ask me where I'm from, and then I'll be like, okay, this is like a perfect way to start the conversation. I'll ask them about their country, where they're from, how the economy is, or just anything about their country. I just want to diversify my cultural knowledge. So because I love traveling, and I definitely want to try to travel as much as I can. It's a good way to practice when you meet other people, because I think Uber drivers, it's more chill. It's a more chill environment. And I also think when you learn from others, set your ego aside, and everyone you meet, there's an opportunity for you to learn something from them. You can learn so much from other people. So just be open-minded and get to know other people, and just make more conversations and ask questions. My last advice is a cute advice. It's to journal and to read. So I started properly and like consistently reading a year and a bit ago, and I've fallen in love since. I would read like romance novels, I would read just basically fiction novels, which I love and I still enjoy from time to time right now. However, whenever I'm strolling around Waterstone and I see a book on a topic that I've always wanted to educate myself on, I'll kind of pick it up and I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll read it, you know? So right now I'm actually reading philosophy. I've never dabbled in the realm of philosophy, and I'm really interested. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn more, because, you know, why not? Obviously you could educate yourself on any other mediums like YouTube. There's a lot of studies out there online that you can read, which is also really interesting. Documentaries too. And the next one is journaling. It helped me a lot. It allowed me to get to know myself a bit more. It's kind of like a date. You're going on a date with yourself and your thoughts. You're sitting down, you're just kind of getting to know each other. You know, be like, what are you feeling today? Like, how are you feeling today? And then you kind of get to know like why things are, why you're feeling this way, because you're seeing it on a physical paper. This happened today, what can I do? You know, it's just like, and when you do that, it just leads to like self-awareness, self-realizations, and then that can actually allow you to grow as well, because you're going to be like, okay, I want to learn more about myself. I think that's the first way you should actually adopt the growth mindset on. It's actually on yourself. Learn more things about yourself, what you like, what you don't like. So this is all that I have for the podcast today. Thank you all for listening. If you're listening until now, thank you. Like, I love you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you for my next episode. Bye. Bye.